What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about weird British objects. And to be clear, these are objects that are apparently normal in Britain that us Americans have no idea about. What exactly are you holding out on us, Britain? What exactly is going on over there in Britain that I don't know about? What kind of technology do you have that we haven't discovered over here? I'm very curious to see what these British objects are that we don't have. I'm not jealous. No, definitely not jealous. But there's only one way to find out. So let's take a look at these British objects.
Number 1, windows that open with a key. All of the
What? This is not what I was expecting. This is random. But we don't have this. What? Why? Windows that open with a key? What? Why? What? Wait. Why don't our windows open with a key? What the heck? This is really throwing me for a loop. Let's just see what she has to say.
all of the windows I had growing up opened upwards like this, rather than outwards like the windows I'm used to in the UK, and you closed it from the inside with a little lever. It's not
Yes. Okay. She's giving me a little clarity of thought here. Yes, I didn't know this was different in Britain. Here in America, our windows, like, I don't know, slide up and down. And there's no, like, key or lock or anything. There's a little latch, lever for, like, locking and unlocking it. It's just, like, made out of plastic. The British windows, they open, like, they swing forward, and there's a key. And this just sounds a lot more high-tech than what we have going on here, to be perfectly honest. I didn't know about this.
not really a lever, a little mechanism. When I realized that you needed a key to lock and unlock many of the windows we had in the UK,
Yeah.
I was perplexed, to say the least.
What? This is so random. I'm perplexed. This is so freaking random. Why would the windows be different? It's the strangest things that are different between, like, Britain and the United States, I swear. Locks on the windows is this just more security? Are you worried about people, like, breaking into your window or something? Or I feel like that'd be more common over here in America, to be perfectly honest, and we don't care about our window security. Although I didn't know we had a choice in the matter. Wait a minute.
Because what happens if you lose the key? What if I needed to get out during a fire from the inside and
Right.
it was locked and I couldn't find the key in a panic? This has not happened to me yet. I'm sure they're more secure,
Huh.
but I'm just curious. So I
This is true. It's just like, well, if there was a fire, you'd probably just, like, break your window open, to be perfectly honest. I don't know. There's just a lot more complexity in the British window for whatever reason. I don't think that's a bad thing. It's just like extra features. It sounds kind of nice. Although you have to keep track of, like, your window key. That is such a foreign concept to me. Okay.
had never seen a key for a window before I moved to the UK.
Yeah.
Next up is the combo washer and dryer. Everyone says this about the UK and
What? What? Wait, what? What? What did she just say? Combo washer and dryer. Hold up. This is a thing? Wait. This isn't a joke. We're not having fun anymore. Why does Britain have this and I had no idea about this? Why wouldn't Americans have this? This is a washer and a dryer in one unit? One object. Is that what we're saying here? Why don't I know this exists? Why don't we have this? Why do we have two different washer and dryer units if this is a thing? How long has this been a thing? How long have you been hiding this from us? What?
Europe in general, when they move here from North America, having one machine that is capable of both washing and drying my clothes seemed incredibly confusing. How would it switch between two modes?
Yeah.
I had these more when I lived in student accommodation.
What?
Today we have a separate washer and dryer because I'm American and spoiled. I don't know. But I do think there is something to be said for having separate machines as the
Oh. She's actually this American who's giving me all the insider information. Is saying the having a separate washer and dryer machine might be better. I'm really confused how you have it in one unit as well. That sounds much more convenient. And do you have to move? Does it just do it all? Or do you have to do something to the clothing in between? Like move it around or something? If it just washes and then dries your clothes and spits it out, that's amazing. That is amazing technology.
combo washer and dryer never actually seemed to dry the clothes as well as a fully dedicated dryer. But this video isn't about what's better. I'm just saying I had never seen or heard of a combo washer and dryer before moving to the UK, and now I have seen quite a lot of them.
I have never heard of this. This is blowing my mind. It's also just strange to me, like why don't us Americans even know this exists? I've never heard anyone ever in my little American conversations here talk about a combo washer and dryer all in one. Ever. Like I didn't even know that was an option. I didn't know you could have windows that lock and swing open or a single washer dryer unit. What the heck? Britain, you're just hiding these things from us. Okay. But she's saying maybe you do want a separate dryer to get it even more dry. But let's keep going. What the heck?
Next up is the British keyboard. I have an entire video on the differences between UK and US keyboards, so check that out if you're into nerdy stuff like that. But I hadn't even taken a second to think that
British keyboard? European keyboard? It's got a euro symbol, and it's got E, U, I, O, and A with little marks above them. Okay.
keyboards might be different in different countries. So when I first used a British keyboard in the computer lab at my university in the UK, I was confused. I was confused by where some of the keys were, why I kept hitting the wrong ones, and I type without looking, so it was messing me up for a long time before I...
The keyboards are different. I guess that makes sense. Okay, this is finally one that, like, I feel like makes sense in my mind. And this would be a nightmare for Americans to use a European or a British keyboard, because you usually type without looking. Yeah, this would take some getting used to.
I finally figured out the UK keyboard layout. Next up is someone putting on the parking brake, which also is like, is it called the emergency brake in some places?
Sure.
Growing up in Florida and driving automatic cars, I swear to you, no one ever mentioned this brake to me. Did it?
Okay, interesting. This is interesting. I think I know what she's saying. Yeah, like I know what a parking brake is, or emergency brake. I think most Americans know. Like most of us drive, we know what a parking brake is. But I don't know if this is an American thing. We never talk about it. Like you learn it one time when you're learning to drive. It's never brought up again. We never use it. I never turn the parking brake on. No one ever does. No one touches that thing. Is it used more in Britain? And why would that be?
Did it exist? Yeah, it must have in my car. But no one ever talked about it. Never. Not one time.
Right.
Not a single time.
This is true.
When I first moved to the UK and my husband kept putting on this parking brake, I was like, what are you doing? The car doesn't need your extra help to park. It's stopped. It's parked. What are we doing? It is...
Huh? This is such a random difference, too. In a different way, we do have the technology over here. We may not have your fancy windows or fancy washer dryers, or your keyboards, but we do have parking brakes. No one uses them. Is this just... What a random cultural difference, if this is true. Are people in Britain taught to put on the parking brake whenever you park, every time you park? I only ever remember about the parking brake if you're parked on a really steep hill and you're actually worried your car is going to roll or something. you might remember the parking brake. But do Brits use it all the time, every time you park? Is that true? And if so, what a strange cultural difference. Like, Brits are taught to do that, and Americans just don't care.
No, because you got to put the parking brake on in a lot of places in the UK, which I now do religiously. But I had never
Okay.
given it a second thought, or even a first thought. I hadn't
No.
given it any thought until I moved to the UK.
No.
Next up is the
Okay.
electric kettle. People like to fight about
Whoa! Electric kettle. This is like a teapot? Or... This is... Yeah, I'm a little confused about electric kettle as well. I've heard of it. I've never... It looks like kind of like it's circulating plasma energy right now. It's amazing. It lights up. These things get a little more advanced than I thought, or maybe maybe it's not advanced and I just don't know what I'm looking at. Electric kettle, this is for heating up water to make tea, right? Very British thing. I think I understand this, but we absolutely do not have these in the United States. I'm sure you could order it from Amazon if you wanted to, but most Americans don't even know about the electric kettle. I've at least heard of it. Most Americans would have no need for it. I've never seen one in real life, though.
kettles on the internet because it's horrifying to many British people that most Americans don't have one. But it's true.
No.
We do not really use electric kettles. We either heat water in the microwave or in a pan on the stove.
Yes, literally. I always feel a little strange doing that, I guess. Like, in the rare time that, like, I have green tea or something weird. It's like, how do we heat up water? It's like, put it in the microwave or heat it up in a literal pot on the stove and pour it into your cup. So the electric kettle does make sense to me if you're making tea all the time. Is this like the evolution of the teapot, I guess?
I had never preheated water before. Like, if I'm
Yeah.
cooking pasta, for instance, in the UK, I'll boil the water in the kettle and then pour it in the pan to bring to a boil on the stove faster. This is not a thing in the US. You just
Oh. Oh, this isn't just for tea? This is like anytime you want to heat up water. But it gets the water warm or hot. But it doesn't make the water boil? So you can use the electric... Okay, we're really going to get into this for a second because I don't understand fully. You can use the electric kettle to heat up the water. Can you use that water for your tea? Or do you need to get it hotter? I thought it was supposed to be like boiling almost. I don't know. What do I know? And you can get water hot in the kettle and then boil it for your pasta and... Okay, I see.
fill the pot or pan with water and let it boil completely on the stove.
Yes.
I will say that electric kettles are obviously superior when it comes to the speed of boiling water in the UK, but the voltage in the
True.
US is lower, which means it cannot boil water as fast in the US, so it's not entirely surprising the US hasn't gotten on board the kettle train.
Oh, I did not know that. I wonder why that is. We have a lower voltage? Our even if we had electric kettles, they would be inferior. They wouldn't even be able to reach the strength of the British electric kettle and get the water hot enough. So it'd just be a fail anyway. Okay.
I did know what a kettle looked like when living in the US. Probably. Maybe. But I had never actually seen one in person. Next up is
Right,
roast.
exactly. I've kind of heard of this thing. Never seen one. And I didn't know it was used for anything other than making your tea, I guess. Okay. That's definitely a British object like we don't have here. Never seen one in real life. Okay, let's keep going.
Dinner flavored crisps. Or chips,
what?
as we would say in America.
Huh? What? What? Dinner flavored crisps. Potato chips, as we'd say here. English roast beef, Yorkshire pudding, flavored crisps? Really? Are these good? Are these popular? How did you make a whole meal, a whole feast, compacted into a chip flavor. How does that even work?
Every country has some weird version of crisp or chip flavors that other people look at and think is disgusting. And
Okay.
for the UK, I'm not going to say it's disgusting at all.
Really?
But I had never seen roast dinner flavored chips before.
Roast dinner flavored chips. When are you in the mood for some roast dinner flavored chips? That's like, it's a whole dinner. How do you make that into one flavor? I'm just really curious now what these taste like.
Hadn't even heard of like what a roast dinner would be. And it kind of seemed like, how is this entire crisp flavored like multiple foods all at once?
Yes, right.
But I guess it works and
Right.
people buy it. Comment below and let me know. Do you like roast dinner flavored crisps?
Okay. These are, the topic of today does not disappoint. These are some weird British objects, and I am loving it. These are things I had no idea existed on this earth till now. This is fantastic. But we're halfway through this, so I think I'm going to stop here for now and continue the rest of this in part 2, because I'm very much enjoying this. I'm not going to rush this or anything. So if you've enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on these British objects that are very strange to me, but seemingly very practical and useful in a lot of cases, or interesting. I don't know about those crisps, but anyway, if you're interested in part 2 of this, or just more videos like this in general, me reacting to Britain and British culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.